Hello. What's up, everybody out there in the wide world? Welcome to night 15 of the virtual tour 2020. We're so happy to be here with you today from the majestic ancient city of Rome,
Yes.
Italy. A city near and dear to our hearts. A place we've never played until now. Very exciting.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's
That song always reminds me of Stuart Little. Who out there know Stuart Little? Remember that movie?
I have not watched in a long time.
It's deeply disturbing. Good movie. But good movies make you feel things. That's what I think anyway, and Stuart Little's definitely
That's
in that.
the movie where the mouse has the Corvette, right?
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he drive to Rome?
He goes to visit his, parents who are, deadbeats, it turns out. And they live in, a mini golf course.
Oh my
and that song is, playing. I don't remember why. But they're, classic, Italian-American, mafiosos.
It's like every mouse trope that I've ever heard.
Exactly. It's cliche to the max, but love it. Gotta love it. Stuart Little. Anyway, so here we are in Rome. We're gonna do a very special episode of the show today. We're gonna do a little bit of All Request Saturday. Thank you to the folks who have already submitted a couple ideas for us. I like the two that I saw, Have a Heart and Elvis, because they're both on Capo too. Makes it easy for me. But so feel free, keep some requests coming if you'd like. I know we only have, so many songs. Might get a couple repeats, but, it's just part of life. And I'm happy to play our music anytime. Anywhere. So before we get to that, though, and then later, of course, about 30 minutes from now, we will be giving some friends of ours a call all the way across the world. I guess we're a little bit closer to them now that we're in Rome, but they're in Auckland, New Zealand, baby.
Yeah.
That's right. Liz and John from the Beths. We will be calling them. And, what are you doing?
I'm gonna turn off the heats.
Don't worry, it doesn't matter.
It's so loud.
All right. Well, Dave is officially leaving briefly, I guess.
We started off the show with Dave taking off.
The next little thing I was going to mention before we
Dobby's here.
Dobby's here.
Dobby's
Dobby made it to
still here.
Rome. He's in the
loves
Muggle
Rome.
world. Yeah, he blends in here. I feel like. I don't know. He just, darts in and out of people in the crowds. And
Yeah.
he
He
just
loves
stares
a
up at that.
meatball.
He loves a good spicy meatball, and he just stares up at the moon and in awe
Oh.
of the wonder and
Oh,
majesty
but
of
he's
our
so
world.
afraid of Dave.
He's afraid of Dave. Dave, you need to make sure that Dobby feels comfortable, okay? I wanted to tell people before we start playing a couple songs here and before we talk to the Beths.
Our connection to Rome.
Our connection to Rome, yeah. We were talking last night about where we should play today, because we usually generally plan these things kind of like improv, like last minute. So we were thinking last night, where should we play today? And
You haven't done a city in a while.
haven't
That's
done a
one
city
thing.
in a while, and we wanted it to be somewhere we've never played. We've never played in Rome, but also Dave lived in Rome for a brief period.
I did. I did a year of school in Rome. It was amazing, just being through all the seasons and watching life pass by
Yeah.
in one of the oldest cities in civilization.
And what were you studying?
I was studying architecture. Shout out Notre Dame, class of architecture 2015. I got this shirt,
Yeah.
Expo Roma, to commemorate the year, and on the back is a little map that I think Tim drew up, and
Cool.
it's like a route that we took every day to walk to school. It was like a 4-minute walk.
While you were
So-
there, did you see the Sistine Chapel?
Yeah, saw a lot of the city. A lot of people.
You lived
Um,
right by the Pantheon, right? Like,
I lived-
pretty close.
I lived a 10-minute walk from here.
Yeah.
It was
Tell people
amazing.
about,
It's very touristy.
Well,
but
yeah, but tell people about your regular bar.
Oh, Sloppy Sam's.
Tell people about that. That's a
This is
It's quite
like
sloppy. I mean, I was in college.
this
you
is
know.
the most incredible story about Dave that most people don't know.
Yeah, this is very
I'm so excited we're talking about
a
this.
low
This is
key
so cool.
unknown fact about you.
How is this?
This is like the
You
coolest thing.
you became friends with the people who own this bar, and tell people what happened.
Well, it was like a very college bar, so and it was seriously like around the corner from where we were staying that year, and it like slowly became our bar. We came to frequent it and like would bring our friends who were visiting over to the bar, or just that was like our chill spot, either where we would start the night or end the night, depending. And it was college. I drank so fucking
you don't need to talk
much
about that.
year.
Tell people what.
It was like too
tell people
much,
what
way
they-
too much. It was like the best wine you could get for like $4. It was unbelievable.
But once you reached a certain level of your relationship, what did they ask you to do?
So like we frequented this bar a lot, and I think brought them a lot of business and like good Google reviews. You could see like they were like rising in the Google review standings while
In
the-
Google
during
Rome.
the period we were there.
Google Chrome.
But we
Google
got
Chrome,
to
sorry.
we got to
Google Chrome.
become really good friends with the owner, Luigi, and Luigino, I think, actually.
This story's made up.
Yeah, this sounds fake.
No, so like eventually we just kind of exchanged drinks and pizza for different favors, and like I don't know, bought weed from the guys there a couple times.
Get to the point, Dave.
We became really close, and one day I was like, hey dude, I have a week off from school. Can I paint a mural in your bar? He's like, yeah, sure, do it. And so he's like, go out to the art store, buy whatever you need, and I'll invoice it or whatever. Just painted these murals, and like
It was a cool mural.
it was like a yellow submarine. It was like kind of like capturing the vibe of the place. It was like
it was
this was definitely like a
psychedelic.
party like square where
But it was,
It
I
was.
think that it was cool that it was kind of a nod to the tourist traffic too, because there were a bunch of different skylines kind of meshed
Yeah.
together. I got to visit you
it's like
during that
yellow
year,
submarine
and you took me there, and I saw
inspired.
it. Very good stuff.
Um,
So if you're in Rome in the future, in the deep future, as we will be soon, that's a little teaser for some crazy
Okay.
technology bending that we're going to attempt in a bit.
Oh my gosh.
But anyways, go to Sloppy Sam's near the Pantheon and see if that mural's still there, because we have no
I
idea.
think it is. They probably resined over it. You might have gotten
Hopefully.
a few drinks splashed on it. The Plaza Campo di Fiori, where I was staying, actually got like famous for a bit because there was a viral video of like some German kid like taking off all his clothes and like jumping into like this fountain that's in the square. There's like a fountain that's like 700 years old, and he just jumped into it.
That's what happens when you have one too many wines at Sloppy Sam's. Shout out.
I love it. Maybe not
Good
700,
memories.
but 5? Sure.
Good mems. All right, we're gonna play a couple songs, and then get to the rest of the show.
What do you want to start with, Jules?
I want to get to Matt's request.
Have a heart?
I definitely want to do that one, because
That's
Matt's
us.
our friend and he asked first. He got the first request in.
Dibs. You gotta respect them.
Do you remember this one, Dave? We have definitely not played this together in a long time. That's the fun of All Requests Saturday. You never know what you're gonna get. Okay. Do you remember this one?
Yeah.
All right, this one's about. I wrote this for a class I was in college about King Arthur. It was called Arthurian literature. And
Spot on.
exactly. And it's about a specific story. I don't think it's probably too much of a backstory to give right now. It's kind of long. But anyways, this one goes out to King Arthur. God love him. He's a gullible dude. Not yet with the sugar.
Oh
saw a woman in my window. She was fair as the days that came and stayed the same. And if you ever would have left her, I tell you that you should be ashamed. Across the forest I knew all too well, sitting at the foot of her bed with eyes crying themselves out with impatience for the eagle to fly back So give me a second with the arrow. We must go straight there and not reply. Your face is nothing, do you realize? The power of your foolishness, do not reply. It could never be true of our love. Sit down, use your head and have a heart to cry for the slander you have made, to flee from destruction you have made. Take one last sweeping look now, 'cause we are going to stay the same. Thank you. Oh, you lost your strap. Thank
Strap
you.
incident right there.
Thank you. If we could get some emojis in the chat, we deeply appreciate them. Thank you.
Who remember the beat during the middle of that song?
Classic PK beat.
Um,
PK, if you are watching, we
I
miss you so much. And thank you to
Maybe-
Matt for requesting that song. We hope you're doing okay out there, Matt.
Yes.
Sending love.
I've been listening to that Brian Mites album a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
that you recommended. It's fucking
Oh,
dope.
you heard about that from Matt?
Yeah.
He's always
that
got
was
the best
on-
recs.
That was on the playlist yesterday.
Yeah, that record's really good. Check that out if you've never heard it. Brian Mites, or Meats. I don't know how you say it.
Mietz.
Should be Meats, but who knows. Yeah, I would just want to tease that if you give us enough emojis, there might be something that happens in regards to our technological experiment.
Great tease.
Bending time.
What is that a T?
So keep that in mind when you're considering, should I send an emoji? Should I not? Yeah, go ahead, send one. I think that would help us out with our experiment
Oh.
that we will be
Oh.
running soon.
Oh,
I don't think we have enough yet.
there was like a short span where
Was it glitching out?
it started to
It started?
go.
No, we don't have
but
enough.
it-
We don't have
yeah,
enough.
it
You guys
didn't
have to
work.
keep sending them.
Dave
There's a
was like up
disturbance.
all night coding this like call and
Simulation.
response thing between like emojis coming in. You know? It's like
Right.
tech stuff.
It's tech.
Yeah, it's too
We told you guys. We're
too
on the
complicated to
curve.
get into on the stream, but
Okay.
One of those.
I saw that someone requested Elvis. I don't know if that's happened again since then or no. Has there been a consensus
Oh.
for a different pick?
I think Elvis is the one that people want to hear.
We haven't played that one in a while, so
Yeah.
we'll do that song, and then hopefully we'll get enough emojis during this song that we'll be able to launch.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I don't know.
Well, I gotta show you guys what I picked up at this socially distanced junkyard today. After this song,
You went to a junkyard today?
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
it was eBay, really.
Oh.
Wow. The internet's junkyard. Are you making sly commentary?
Yeah, we know where your
No.
loyalties lie. Fuck, man. All right.
I'm not
Wow.
sponsored.
Whoa!
All right. Tim.
Whoa!
I know the chat
Whoa!
conspiracies.
What is this?
Oh,
Chrome?
I see the flood of emojis.
What are we in?
Are we?
Chrome?
Oh, it worked. All right, guys. We moved 500 years in the future. As we learned from SpongeBob, everything is chrome in the future. And here we are. Even Rome is not immune to the chromanization of humanity. It's happened. We, Dave, do you have the space tube? This is what it sounds like in Rome at all hours in 2520.
I would say more like 600.
So, this is a space tube.
I think this is, you know.
This was our original plan to travel 500 years in the future, was to
Yes,
use
but-
this.
But the emojis kind
The
of
emojis
just
helped.
tore a rift in the universe. Luckily, I was able to bring this with me through the wormhole. I'm trying to like save the canon of this whole moment right
Whoa.
here.
Is that Dave or is that Marcus?
Oh my gosh. I have so much
Everything's
more
getting
stuff.
a
to
little
reference.
confused. Is Dobby still here?
Dobby's still here, but he's really afraid of Chrome.
Oh no.
Oh my god, is that Julia or is that Sean? Oh.
This is scary. Alright, we need to play a good old nostalgic 21st century hit to make everything okay.
Do you want to play it with this mask on?
I could try. I don't know. Sure. Like you and me playing. Alright, guys, this is how you
might bend the universe.
This is how you use a space tube.
It's actually called the experience tube.
Oh.
But this is the time machine that will take us back to the present. Hello, Jules.
Hello. How is this looking, Sean?
It looks great.
Awesome.
No intro, because I can't.
You've never
Doing
looked
it.
better. The both of you.
Thanks. I wish we could somehow get the camera in here so you guys could see what this looks like. It's trippy as fuck. I don't think I want
Yes.
to. I don't think I want to play the whole song like this. Though.
Okay, sure.
sorry.
Pull your head out at the rocking part.
Whoa. That's Julia.
Okay, how about I just go for it?
You want to do this?
I thought this was gonna be the first challenge ever on the stream.
I want to try something, you guys, really quick. Just an experiment of time before we play this one song.
This is creative.
Sean, I just want
power.
to see if this works. This is our creativity coming alive.
Alright, I gotta go far back so you can
far back.
stretch it. And then,
Can you see Dave?
not yet. Oh, I see the camera.
Chrome!
Crow.
Chrome! Wow.
Did it work?
Are we back in our present?
That was too scary.
That
Let's
was-
never do that again.
All right, sorry,
I didn't
Dobby.
like that. Dobby was very, very afraid.
Dobby pooped his pants.
Alright, actually,
Dobby
let's
is
play this
so
song
embarrassed he's leaving.
No, Dobby, I'm sorry. That was offensive. We didn't take your feelings into consideration. I'm sorry. All right, let's play this song.
well.
That was
intro.
awesome.
Ready?
I can only imagine how fucking cool that looked.
Oh my god.
No intro.
What?
Thank you to whoever requested this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Elvis is in the freezer. I got your tail on teaser. My lover is all gone, and it's my fault. Her little boy is freezing in the chat. Are we still Chrome?
Oh yeah.
Sweet. Okay,
I thought
good.
we would have
making sure we're
went
still here.
back in time after
We're
the
Chrome
experience.
from here on out.
We're Chrome, indefinitely
Davi
Chrome.
even came back to
Aw.
dance. He came back
I like
to
it
do
here.
his dance.
Excellent. Okay.
I feel like I should have brought sunglasses. It's so reflective.
Cool. I think. Actually, we might have time for like one more request or a little bit of Q&A about our technology. Whatever you guys want to do.
I don't
Well,
want to. I don't. Well.
We
yeah.
got a few minutes left before we call our
Let's
special
see
friends.
if anyone requests anything, because I don't want to like break national security by going into like all our Chrome technology and stuff.
Yeah, we shouldn't talk about the Chrome stuff.
Wow.
But
Got multiple requests for Texas.
shoot. Yes, can do. That's a good request because that song is pretty short. You hear that?
Texas.
Yes. Oh boy. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for suggesting one that I actually am happy to do, as opposed to all the other ones. This one's on Capo 3. If you're playing along at home, it has very few fingers you need to press. Ready, Dave?
I want to tune to you, actually.
Are you gonna play the pocket piano on this song? Sounds pretty good, actually. Actually. All right.
Let's do it.
Here we go. Here we go. Flies through every pasture, give the hills a shot. Wait till now is after to judge what you have got. And thankfully I've been retold that it makes total nonsense to try to know the present. And I just wanna go to touch every county, let yourself be land. Open all the inches to help you understand. Never try to justify this sense of longing and any sort of weakness. Please, I'm gonna take Let's make a pact to hold each other through. Often when it's quiet, my dreams put on a show, gentle and defiant of where we have to go. So nodding twice, I leave my room and step over the fuck room to the distance. So that on my way to what the fuck, dude? And about the love you feel tonight. It's all a part of moving on and growing older. Let's make a pact to hold each other through. Thank you. That was intergalactic.
We're in the future. That's what music sounds
That's what music
like.
sounds like now in 2520. So take it or leave it, okay? There's no more guitar solos allowed.
No,
Only piano
Only-
box solos.
intermodulated.
Okay, you guys, it is that time of the show. One of the best times on the show ever. We are going to bring out our special guest for today's episode. I have a prop, a visual aid. So today we're so excited to have our friends Liz Stokes and John Pierce from Auckland, New Zealand, who play in such an amazing band, one of our favorite bands called the Beths. This is probably going to look really weird, but here is their record that came out in 2018. How does it look? Is it chrome?
It looks kind of weird, but it's great.
Does it look chrome?
People can see.
That's cool. So they put out a record in 2018 called Future Me Hates Me, which is like,
You can see through some of it.
in my opinion, it's one of the best albums of the 2010s. And they're great songwriters, really nice people. And they have a new record coming out this summer that they just announced. And so we're going to give them a call and just catch up and see how they're doing. New Zealand seems to be doing better than America, which is good for them. Do you mind turning up our headphones, Sean, when you have a chance? Okay, let's get some emojis in the chat for the Beths, please. They deserve all the emojis that we can give them, I would say.
Hey.
Oh, good. How are you? Yeah, that's lit. I mean, it looks really nice there. Yeah, I mean, it's comforting to know what the future looks like, and that it is really, really shiny. So it's just us. Hey, so yeah, I guess if can you hear us? They're trying to solve it. Everything's gonna be fine. Can you hear Julia? Can you hear Dave? Can you hear Sean? Can you hear us? Let us know in the chat. Yeah. This was part of the plan all along. Okay, well, while we're sussing stuff out, I guess we're. Yeah, I know.
There you go.
Dave fixed it. I think Dave fixed it.
Can you hear us now?
Everybody should be able to hear us.
I had my Type 5 ready. Okay, good. Hell yeah.
Is it fit? It's fixed.
Yay!
Wow.
Wow, Dave.
All right.
Johnny
It's,
on the spot.
There's a little eyeball on the
On the
On the
audio?
list, yes.
Oh, whoops. My bad.
audio. Eyeball
failed.
audio.
Good to go.
Think about it.
Dave, you're going to have to move over a little bit. To your left.
Yeah, there we go.
And you to your right?
Perfect. Cool. Okay, we're live. We got it all.
Wow.
We got
Problem
it all fixed.
solved. What a smooth entrance into this segment.
Good edit.
So it's Sunday afternoon where you guys are, right?
It's Sunday afternoon.
How's
It's good,
how is it in
Sunday.
Auckland?
actually. It's,
Oh, yeah.
So don't forget, we dropped some packages over to our parents last night.
Under the cloak of darkness.
Yeah. To,
do you have to
yeah,
do you have to sneak around?
Kinda. I think there's a lot of people who are sneaking around, and that's technically breaking the rules here in New Zealand.
Wow.
So, you know.
Uh-oh.
Much longer.
But like we played it pretty safe.
It's actually very exciting. Tomorrow they're going to announce whether or not we're going to drop down to level 2, which means
Okay.
that like businesses can open and stuff, and like you can go into cafes and things like that.
It means you can give
with
people a
rules.
careful hug.
You can give a careful hug.
Consider hugging.
Yeah, a distant hug.
Yeah, as the Director General of Health said, he's well up.
Nice. It seems like from an outside perspective, just reading the news, it seems like New Zealand has done a very like commendable job kind of handling things. I mean, obviously it helps that you're like surrounded by water. So when you shut down, you really can like, I mean, there's just a general bullshit attitude here in America. It's a disaster here.
Yeah, it's a bit scary to watch. I mean, things are okay here. We're pretty lucky, but you know.
I'm proud of you guys.
With some friends in the States yesterday as well, and it feels really unfair because things are quite hopeful for us at the moment. It was tinged with sadness when we were discussing where everyone was at because we're very lucky here, and we feel sorry for all those people who are still waiting for things for that hope to come around.
Yeah, it's just really
It'll come, right?
it will come. It's just confusing because there are so many different leaders making conflicting choices. Like all the states are kind of on their own timeline. But yeah, I mean, here in Illinois, we're still pretty locked down. We haven't left the house.
Yeah, but
there are still people who are
creating
angry.
that conflict between like the states and like the president is also just not helping anybody, and it's just creating a lot of animosity.
It's confusing, but I mean, hey.
How is it like? I know you guys have been locked down for a while. Is it getting better in Illinois? Like,
you were talking about the phases too, and yeah, I think like our state has come up with phases to reopen, and
I mean, as far as like the infection rate, though, it's still pretty. I think it's definitely
starting to level off.
Exactly, it hasn't spiked in the way that people were fearing, but it's still people are dying. But we're just trying to do our part to stay inside, which is why we've actually
Hanging
gotten
with
as
y'all.
far away from Illinois as possible. Which is why
Yes.
we're
We're in Chrome now.
Yeah.
300 years away.
Yes, indeed.
There's some questions in the chat for y'all. And I think this is a record label or a band maybe. What was it like growing up in New Zealand and having Flying Nun? What were some of your favorite like music and labels that affected you when you were younger?
Oh, I wanted to quickly also say that Ben,
Yes.
our bass player, is in the chat. He's under Benotron.
Oh,
Oh,
What?
hell yeah. Hey, Ben.
oh, there he
What
is.
up?
What's up, Ben?
He says Hans Puckett over and over.
Okay.
What is that?
That's a band.
Oh, okay. I don't know anything about music apparently.
Let's see.
Yeah, Flying Nun's a
I don't know.
thing. Yeah,
It's-
it's like Flying Nun's.
What is
It's
Flying
almost
Nun?
like it's not like a household name in New Zealand, unless you're really into like indie guitar music, in which case it is all consuming and influences everybody. But like from growing up, like my parents were they were like into some pretty cool music and stuff, but they weren't listening to Flying Nun, and the few New Zealand bands they were listening to were like pub rock bands. And I don't know, what about you? You probably weren't listening to Flying Nun.
I didn't really listen
when
to
you were
Flying
growing
Nun.
up and first learning guitar
Growing
and
up,
stuff.
no, I've more listened to them even lately, but I still, I don't know. I guess they're globally like kind of like a cult label, but like a small cult niche label, and I guess that kind of almost still applies in New Zealand, even though they're a cult label. But my favorite, I really like the Beths, and I like
Great.
Brissa Creed and Cake, who's kind of a late Flying Nun. Yeah, they're cool.
Marcus is in the chat, our drummer, and he has a question. What's the worst restaurant in New Zealand? Whoa.
Who is that?
Why is Marcus so into bad food?
Marcus
upside
is
down.
really into bad food.
It's upside
Oh, it's
down.
upside down, John. What's the worst restaurant in all of New Zealand? A very
I'm
broad
sorry,
question.
but the worst restaurants in New Zealand are all from America.
Oh!
Keep it.
Take
keep
that,
it coming.
Marcus.
Surprised.
They're actually Chicago-specific chains. We hate those.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
That's fair.
We've got
Well, I mean, speaking
taco.
of Chicago cuisine, like,
Shit, are we about to get burned?
Please.
We know a lot.
Lay it on us.
the quintessential Chicago food, you just can't get that in New Zealand. So,
What is that?
That's probably a good thing for your
Like
health.
dog with relish and
Yeah.
pickled peppers.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
Just like really
poppy
heavy
seed
Italian
buns.
food, like
yeah.
Italian
like
food.
pizza with
So
like, but I mean like American Italian food. Sorry.
American Italian food
yes.
is not really a thing here.
Yeah, like it's
Like flat pizza?
yeah. Well, no, like thick pizza,
pizza.
and then like huge beef sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of gross shit.
When I say the worst food comes from America, I mean like we have
I
we
don't
have like
doubt it.
Burger Kings and we have like McDonald's. And,
Yeah.
Those are the best ones we got here.
Oh,
We gave you our best.
just a quick fast food inquiry. Do you all have Supermax in New Zealand? Oh,
No,
okay.
what-
That's Irish, Dave. That's
Is
like
it
a very
Irish?
small
What's like the
Irish.
top
Oh,
fast
but it's in
food place in New
Scandinavia.
Zealand?
the top one, like the most popular.
Like everyone knows it. It's like a staple in the culture.
Well, like it's McDonald's, but also KFC's like got holds
Okay.
a weird cultural place in New Zealand. Like
Yeah.
KFC's been there for a long time.
That's
Wow.
cool.
Quite
I,
honestly, it's better abroad. Yeah.
it is. KFC is
So-
better outside of the U.S. That's a little known fact.
Oh, really?
That's a fact.
I would completely say that. Like in Europe, KFC is pretty good. And here it's pretty bad. But I'm from Kentucky, and anytime I get to travel anywhere around the world, that's the first thing people say when they find out that I'm from Kentucky. It's like, oh, KFC.
KFC.
Even in Japan, it's like, oh.
What's this is?
There-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that my mom's Indonesian, so when we would go to Indonesia, it's like the KFC there is completely different, and it's like I just remember it being like rice with chicken and like it's really great.
It's an
Chicken
experience,
chicken
yeah.
to go with rice. It's
Dang.
like
Mm.
It sounds
legit.
great.
And it's like even McDonald's in some countries has like a vegan burger option, and
Mhm.
it's pretty.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty kicking.
That's one of the best things about touring is getting to just,
Oh yeah.
I don't know,
Just regional food.
regional
Yeah.
foods,
It's awesome.
obviously.
trying whatever the local McDonald's has got. It's just
Exactly right.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta check it off the list.
Just to make sure that it's consistent across the board.
Yeah, just a little taste
Just
test.
doing our like personal checks. Yeah.
Mhm.
cuisine.
Is there? This is from the chat. This is starting to become a deep discussion in the chat. Is there a 7-Eleven comparison in New Zealand, or is it just 7-Eleven? The corner store.
Okay, so we have like we more have like we call them dairies, like local convenience stores. They
Okay.
haven't quite been like chainized in the same way that like 7-Eleven's kind of ubiquitous in like I suppose in the States, and then like when we went to Japan,
Yeah.
that was pretty awesome. But like they're more like usually locally owned. We call them dairies.
call them dairies, a place where you usually like buy an ice cream or something, and
By
they
Lowe's.
will stock like one of every item in a supermarket, like in a big food supermarket. And
Mhm.
so if you want one can of beans, you can get it, and then presumably they'll have to ring up their supplier and be like, "Someone bought the bloody beans, and I need one can of beans."
That's
But,
cool.
Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of like a bodega. We don't really have.
Yeah.
I mean, we have those in Chicago, but in New York City, that's like a thing.
Well, actually, there's a small section of the states in like Ohio, Columbus, Ohio area, where like the gas station, convenience store, corner stores are called dairies, and like the big one there is called United Dairy Farmers,
Ah.
and they are famous for their ice cream. It's really good ice cream. And really cheap.
Dave's an ice cream.
I have such
Freak.
a sweet tooth. I'm sorry.
As soon as you said ice cream, John, Dave was like, he like pointed at me, like, fuck yeah.
I bought some ice cream today. Yeah.
Good shit, man. Hell yeah.
On eBay.
On eBay. God. I'm just curious, how do you guys think your scene in Auckland is going to be affected, like as far as music venues and stuff. Do you think people are kind of going to be able to survive okay where you are from everything that's going on?
Yeah. So like we've been like deeply interested in sort of just
Yeah.
Like a concerned parent.
yeah, just like worried about Auckland in particular, like but all of New Zealand. Like there's not that many venues, and they're just really important for local music because
Yeah.
like we don't get as many touring bands as I guess of like that small club level, and so like I don't know that they're just like places for bands to kind of grow, and we're really worried about them. But there's been some help from the government in terms of like stimulus as to so that people can kind of live for a while. Like you get paid like for the next like 12 weeks, for the first 12 weeks since like March. So like they've been able to pay staff, but like a lot of them are doing like boosted campaigns and stuff to stay open. But it's definitely looking more hopeful than other places. Like and the fact that like New Zealand's looking at kind of like between none and 2 new cases every day. So it feels pretty safe, and the borders are firmly shut, and like it does seem like there's a glimmer on the horizon of potential like local shows, which would be really cool and be able to like keep the local venues open. It's like hard to know what it would look like, I guess, under under level 2, or probably most likely under level 1. Like,
yeah,
but that's something that will hopefully.
Nice. So maybe you guys could play a record release show in July.
possibly, yeah. Hopefully, like this combination of kind of community support and a little bit of government help, and then being able to restart as soon as possible will, fingers crossed, see most of our favourite places through.
Nice.
But I think there'll be so many places that it will be really hard for them to continue, and some of them will unfortunately probably be music venues.
Yeah, that's
same here.
That's how it is in the States as well.
Like in Chicago.
In Chicago, I haven't heard too many. I mean, we've seen there have been a few restaurants that have announced that they're permanently closing. I haven't seen any of the venues like make that same decision, but
Well, there's a really interesting article in was that
the New York Times, yeah.
That featured a few Chicago venues that had to close down and board up their windows,
I mean, yeah, everyone's on the
indefinite.
fritz, but our government isn't really. It's like not something they're actively addressing, or at least saying they're not talking about it. But there's a bunch of venues have like banded together and created this coalition to lobby the government for support. So hopefully it'll work out. But there have been a couple, like this club in Boston called Great Scott announced that they're closing, and that's like, did you guys ever play there?
I don't think so.
I feel like it would probably, it's a great place. I feel like you would have really liked it. Like it was just kind of like a dingy, no frills, but very.
It's been around for like 44 years.
Exactly, like an institution. And like people were there like really nice. Like I think we headlined there back in 2017 when we like weren't really headlining clubs at all. And they were so nice to us. Like I felt really welcome there. I don't know. So that's a bummer. But
have a place like that just
exactly,
like,
yeah.
Just be gone, and like everything that goes along with it.
Yeah.
A big point of that article, and like just a good point from that is like the venues and businesses that are most threatened are the ones where like they're like kind of that bridge between like a small artist and a big artist. Like that's where you cut your teeth, and those are the ones that are like struggling the most, and who knows when that's gonna open back up.
Yeah, we'll see. We tried a little experiment. I don't know how many people have actually done that. Like on our website, if you go to, we left the ticket links up for our shows that all got moved and canceled and shit, but we like put a little like a local link for like a GoFundMe, the GoFundMe of the venue. Or so if anyone out there had tickets to any of those shows that we were doing, check out the ticket link on our website. You have to click through. It either says venue website or artist website, but click on that, and that'll take you to like a local fundraiser for the venue or for a different city. Shit's
really good idea, right?
fucking weird. It was, our friend Rusty had that idea, and it was a really good idea. But anyways, all that shit's really depressing. I wanted to ask you guys about your...
And also, it's totally academic in Chrome 2050 2,500.
Yeah, we
we
are
are
far.
so far. We have learned so many.
We have learned so many
from this
lessons from the
experience.
past. We can't share them because that would rip a hole in time space.
There's-
Space time.
John, this is specifically a question for you that keeps coming up in the chat over and over. I don't know. They just need to know, what is your favorite volcano in New Zealand?
Ah,
Oh.
I
They
love
need
that.
to
I
know.
love that question.
There's so many, this is really a difficult question. You need some
Well, so no, I think I've got an
Well,
answer.
what do volcanoes exist in the Chrome era?
They have actually taken over.
Oh no!
There's volcano societies, like so many craters. Oh, it's magnificent.
Yeah.
But what's your favorite one?
Well, so I think that the city that we live in, Auckland, is a really nice city, but it's one of those cities that is maybe like doesn't really warm people to it immediately. It's kind of got problems where it's really spread out and kind of hard to get places, and there's not very many like attractions for a tourist or cultural significance for people outside of New Zealand or anything like that. But what it does have is this beautiful harbour that we call the Hauraki Gulf, this big harbour that's between a really large peninsula, and it's dotted with volcanic islands.
Mm.
So I think my answer to the question would be Rangitoto Island, which is a sort of perfectly conical, circular volcano. I might actually be wrong about that conical classification because I know that's kind of a sciencey thing.
I know it's a shield volcano.
Yeah, there you go. It's a shield. It's a perfectly
Mount St.
shield
Helens.
And it's very flat and very like it looks like that from all sides.
Cool.
and it's iconic. Iconic.
You always see it from all the eastern bays.
An Auckland landmark for sure.
Mm-hmm.
An Auckland landmark, and you can go on a boat and go for a walk and climb up to the top of it. It takes about an hour and a half or something.
So
That's
it's dormant, I assume, or extinct.
It's actually the youngest volcano, and definitely in Auckland. It's like
Whoa.
600 years old.
Yeah, super young.
Whoa,
It's
that's awesome. Can you?
so it's,
Can
When-
someone, Ben? Can you write it out in the chat, or could you guys spell it? I definitely want to read about this later.
Yeah,
Rangitoto.
write it out in the chat.
Ben, write that out, please.
It's like so it's when you look at it now, it's quite forested, and you could not forest, but it's with scrub brush. It looks green, but it's interesting to think that this absolutely iconic thing that I would always consider to be leafy and green as an island was just grey volcanic rock when the first European people came to New Zealand, because it was that young that plants hadn't even self-seeded on that volcanic island yet.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
It's like a little sand bump bubbling out of the ocean.
yeah, and even when
That's
you walk
really
on it, it's just like it's just rocks. It's just rocks.
It rocks, man. That's sick. It's just those igneous rocks.
But there's
That's-
also the cool,
that's
which is
awesome. Dude, I would love to see a volcano.
New Zealand is on our bucket list.
Join
for
us.
sure.
Yes, we will come. We'll meet you at the volcano.
when the borders open,
Yeah, right. Yeah. Eventually. We're
Come and
staying home so that eventually we can come see the fucking volcano.
Mm-hmm.
That would be so dope.
Ben keeps bringing up Pigeon Mountain. I had a feeling. What's the story?
So Pigeon Mountain's my local maunga. It's like Auckland's got a lot of volcanoes. It's over a hotspot, so like as Auckland moved over the hotspot, like little volcanoes would kind of pop up, and then like the land would move along, and then a different one would pop up in a different place. Like so, there's lots of them around, and like each neighborhood almost has its own little. So it's quite nice to come to Auckland, like climb one of them, and then you can see all the see lots of the other ones, and kind of look at the different suburbs. So the one where I grew up out east, my parents actually live across the road from Pigeon Mountain. I can't remember the Māori name for it, the proper name. But it's a bit sad because it got like half mined away, like for rock, back in the day when they were like, look at this dumb mountain, it's full of rocks. I want some of those rocks. So it's like it kind of goes up a bit and then it kind of just goes like that.
Damn.
And,
Mm.
it's a bit sad, but it is still a very nice mountain.
Nice.
You used to have a topless mountain bumper sticker.
I was just
'Cause
thinking
that's an issue in the U.S. too. Yeah,
It's
topping.
in Kentucky. It's the same thing. Like they're destroying mountains to mine for their resources, which I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, as I think you have been as well, Liz. And every time I go to a mystery island and just completely destroy it and strip it of all its resources, I'm just like, I'm colonizing the fuck out of this. I feel guilty. It's crazy, but it's just a game. But in real life, it's really fucked up. Yeah, in Kentucky, there's similar issues. And they were selling bumper stickers for your car that said topless mountains are obscene. And yeah, it's a real thing. But I wanted to ask you, Liz, who is your favorite villager who you got on your island?
It's gotta be. I got Pietro.
I knew
Pietro.
the scary clown.
I know he's divisive.
He is controversial.
I was
More
thinking.
I just love him. He's so like. He's just so strange, and like I talked to all my villagers, and they're like, "It's really sunny today." And I talked to Pietro, and he's like, "I saw you burying shit."
Can you tell us about his house?
Yeah. What'd you say?
Tell us about his house.
So like that, like when he first moved in, I walked in and I was like, "Who's this weird clown sheep?" And just the inside of his house was just the wallpaper and the floor is like moving clouds. And when he first moved in, it was just a pile of boxes in the middle of the room with moving clouds, and I was like, "What's going to happen? What's going to happen?"
Unpacking in the heavens.
And like I gifted him a bed, but now he's got furniture. But he just has like 2 moon-shaped chairs and then like a cotton candy machine. And he's like, "This is enough." And I gave him a bed and he won't use it. I'm like, "Pietro."
That's all he needs.
It doesn't have to be like this, Pietro.
He sleeps on a cloud.
I have all the sustenance I need right here.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. He's alright.
How's your island coming along?
It's going pretty well. I've got 4 stars. I made an upstairs studio for my house, and I think I might be reaching. I think I've maybe reached peak Animal Crossing. I think I might be starting to now ramp down a little bit.
It's fair.
Which I think is healthy. I think I've played like 200 hours or something. It's not good, but it is good.
Yes, it's good and bad. It's moderation. We've talked about moderation on the show before.
Evan Lorish wants to know, what's your favorite Animal Crossing bug?
Oh.
Bug. Hey, Evan!
Hey, Evan.
We love Evan. The first time we went to Chicago, and the second time we all stayed on Evan's floor, and we wish we were there now.
He's got a comfy floor.
It's great.
He's got a comfy aura.
Yeah.
So much love.
Favorite bug.
Evan has a comfy aura.
Right?
Favorite bug.
This little like this version of Liz that you're seeing right now is
I'm very conflicted.
is really a genuinely conflicted and difficult position because you don't like bugs.
Yeah. I mean, my biggest phobia is like it's not really a good idea to put your phobias out on the internet, is it? Because then someone sends you in the mail. It's like caterpillars and slugs and snails and worms. But I don't know. I quite like I don't know. Maybe the praying mantises look quite cool. They're just like quite big and chunky.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. They're fun.
Yeah.
I like how they like spread their wings when you're like going for the cat.
Yeah, there's like a defensive posture. I love the little details. Dude, those scorpions are fucking scary. They like actually scare me. It causes me issues when I play the game. I get sweaty.
Are they new now for you guys?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we just got the scorpions. The tarantulas are gone.
We had scorpions, and now I just twice now I've been stung by a tarantula, which I didn't even know we had, and it's scary because with the scorpions you kind of see them and you're like, oh, it's a scorpion, and you can deal with that. But with the tarantulas, I've never seen them coming. I just suddenly they're just suddenly running at me and I can't do anything.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder, is that how tarantulas act in real life? Do they come at you? Do they like chase you?
They
It's
have
terrifying.
different movements because tarantulas have like a defensive like paws. The scorpions I feel like don't. So I actually tried to catch some scorpions last night, and I was not used to their mannerisms.
Yeah.
And completely caught off guard. I only managed to catch one.
You got one though.
That's
That'll
good.
make
Caught
London
one.
maybe.
I'm saving it for Flick.
Nice. Yeah, bugs are terrifying.
John, do you have a profile on Animal Crossing? Are you playing Animal Crossing?
Nah.
Jonathan's playing RimWorld, which is like Animal Crossing,
But more realistic?
but there's like combat, I guess.
Oh, cool. I feel like
Is it
you
like-
game with that.
I
Is
mean,
it like City?
is it like Civ, kinda? Because that's
It's kind of like
Sean's thing.
Civ, but like real time, and a little bit more micromanagement maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's pretty fun, but it is the sort of game that you kind of rage quit a little bit.
Nice.
I really like it, but I played quite a long time in the game mode where you can't there's no checkpointing, so if something bad happens, then that's just life and there's no going back.
Respect.
Yeah, and I thought it was real legit and pithy, and like that's the way to play. And it's serious, and I was into that. And then like everything went wrong, and I just was like, nah, not. But I can't do it. I don't want to do it.
That's how gaming really gets at the root of your emotions, and I feel that completely. It's fun. I'm not a competitive guy, but competitive video games bring that out in me too.
Right.
But is this game, is it like an online campaign, or is it more like you contain it and generate it, and then if something goes wrong, you have no save to revert to or something?
Yeah, it's like that. That's kind of a fun aspect of the game because it's kind of procedurally generated. So
I love
the
that.
stuff that happens to you is kind of random, and even to the point where like you can make your tribespeople or colonists or whatever you would like to call them. You can make them do art, and then the game will describe the art they did, and even the descriptions are kind of procedurally generated. So it'll say like this art depicts this particular colonist playing chess and defeating your other person playing chess because that's a thing that they did. But then also it will describe the art, and sometimes the description is like perfectly reasonable. It's like the art is stoic and chiseled. Or I'd say like
Cool.
the art is green and horizontal. Because
Sweet.
it doesn't know that horizontal is not really a word that we would use to describe.
But it's also like a good mine for ideas, at least like
it
word
is.
ideas.
It's like the David Byrne cards are baked into not David Byrne, Brian Eno, like the
Yes.
Brian Eno.
Oh,
cards are baked
cool.
Exactly.
Totally. That's funny.
I love that.
I like that.
I've
I like that
gotten-
we're using Twitch to talk about video games.
I mean, that's
Actually, pretty sick.
cheers.
Would
Twitch.
would you guys have any interest in playing a song?
Yeah, sure. We could play a song.
If you feel like it.
Yes.
Oh, look.
I think the chat is they want it.
They want it.
They want it. Give them what they want.
Also, before I forget, John, send me a list of all your gear, because I love gear. And I see that rack behind you right there. It looks really nice. I hope y'all are having fun at the home studio.
Thanks. Yeah, I just
it's a
took
great
the
thing to
various
see.
details. But gotta have my New Zealand made valve amp head.
There you go.
It's the beer station.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let y'all take the stage.
Okay, I guess we're gonna play the song. How's the volume? Is it too loud? We're gonna play Future Music Next Week.
Nice.
1, 2, 3, go. this how design for everyone that I know is broken. It's felt for red before. Sometimes I think I'm doing fine. I think I'm pretty smart. I'm convinced that I can keep myself apart. Oh, then the walls become thin and somebody gets in I'm defenseless. But it won't happen again. It probably won't happen again. There's something about you. There's something about you. There's something about you. I wanna rest, going through future heartbreak, future headaches, wide-eyed nights, late lying awake, the future cold shakes from stupid mistakes. Future me hates me for. It's getting dangerous. I could get hurt, I know. I've counted off the cones, they far away the pros. Oh, and the floodgates are down, it's no longer the sounds I'm drowning. It's too late for me now. I need just to get around. Is there something about you? Something about you. Something about you. I wanna rest, going through future heartbreak, future headaches, wide-eyed nights, late lying awake, the future cold shakes from stupid mistakes. Future me hates me for, hates me. Future heartbreak, future headaches, wide-eyed nights, late lying awake, the future cold shakes from stupid mistakes. Future me hates me for, hates me for. Future heartbreak, future headaches, wide-eyed nights, late lying awake. Future cold shakes from stupid mistakes. Future me hates me for, hates me. Future heartbreak, down is over, side-eyed nights, late lying awake. Future cold shakes from stupid mistakes. Future me hates me for, hates me. Future heartbreak, down is over, sounds, walls become thin, and somebody gets in its walls.
Hell yeah. That sounded awesome.
Thanks.
Great job, guys. Such a good song.
Wow, I can't believe you played that song while we're in the future. You're in the future. And we're in Chrome. We're all in the future.
That's such a good record. I was listening to your record earlier today, and just something came to my mind to ask you that I've been curious about. It's like, so for anyone in the chat who doesn't know, one thing that's really cool and commendable about the Beths music is that they recorded all themselves, which is so sick and really hard to do. Like, especially, I mean, most musicians don't do that. But I was wondering, when you guys like demo out the songs, are the demos like very early versions, or do you demo them full band? Because I'm kind of wondering, when do you feel that point where it transitions from being a demo to being something that you want to keep and like put on the record? Because I feel like that could be kind of like an ambiguous, like, when do we make that jump?
Yeah, it's weird. It does, and it never really feels that ambiguous for us. I think the process is normally like, I'll do a demo, like a solo, Am I allowed to swear on the stream? I already did.
Yes.
Of course.
Oh my god, yes.
Okay, like a shitty demo, like that I make by myself. Like on the
Whoa,
computer,
okay.
like my just like it's just guitar and vocals and like some layering and stuff. And then I'll send that to the band, and then we'll play it together. And like I guess the process of playing it always feels exploratory. It always feels live or something in a way that's like, this is how we would play it. And then I don't know. I guess when this album's been like maybe different for the first time in that we didn't get to play songs live, the new album that we've been making, and there was a little bit more of a blur. But I think we just would get to a point where it just feels like it's sounding good, and when it sounds like it's sounding good, then at
Nice.
that point we would start going for takes.
Mm.
Is that right? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's really a communication question. Like, what kind of languages are people using when you're talking about the song at a given time, and just being like aware of whether each of the individual band members are still kind of exploring things, or what people might want to leave open, or what people have like, because
The arrangements are really tight.
yeah, and we don't really like, we kind of, once we work stuff out, we kind of pretty much play it the same way after that.
Yeah.
Any areas in which we don't, and we have a bit of improvisation, are like also very structured. So
Very little improvisation in the bits.
we'll like, you'll just get to a point where like when people are talking about their feeling about how the song's going, the language just changes from not feeling good about this section, I'm thinking about trying such and such a thing, to the last time I played that, I thought I felt like I was a bit like my tempo was a bit uneven in the bridge or something like that. And then at that point, like, oh yeah, so people are pretty comfortable, the arrangement's pretty buttoned down, and
Now we're just trying to get good at it.
we're just trying to play it really well now. And if we can do that, then we've got it.
Is that just similar to how you guys work?
Yeah, I mean, so pretty much, did you guys record all the songs live then? Like all you playing in the room together at the same
We
time?
did as much live tracking as we could this time. Last time we didn't do any.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we try to track with guide tracks, like with a guide guitar and vocal from Liz and stuff like that. But this time we tried to do 2 guitars, drums and bass live, and then right up until like the getting the takes process, we all had microphones to be able to sing and communicate and stuff as well. So
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah,
It's
I
just
feel
like-
like
That, and then you can always like there are parts where we're like that guitar tone didn't sound quite right, so I mean we would overdub that and things like that.
Totally.
Yeah, and it's like I didn't realize how easy it is, even when everybody's in the room tracking live, to go over and overdub stuff too. Like, it's
Yeah, like in
just
the
as easy nowadays. Yeah.
in the past, we like we're this actually very much the same as you guys, where the record that we put out before this last one we didn't do live, and we thought about it. At least I feel like you and I thought about it, but it just wasn't really possible. We didn't really have like a consistent lineup at that point. But then also, I was nervous about the prospect of recording live, because I was like, oh, what if one person messes up, you have to start over. But that's
Yeah, like-
absolutely not true.
Mhm.
Pretty much as long as the drummer gets a solid take, if you need to fix a mistake or patch something, you can go back. Which is why for our most recent album, we recorded live as well, and it was really fun. I'm like really into that now, which is why, I don't know, we're like trying to demo now, and it feels so
I
pales
mean,
in comparison to that feeling of getting to track all together.
I feel like the stuff we're doing now, like writing new songs, is a lot of just layering parts and really letting it develop, and maybe doing more editing. But I feel overall like it's really similar. I think maybe us personally, like, we let it go a little bit longer in the demo stage. But I feel like the real magic happens when the band's putting it together, when you're like jamming on a fresh song for the first time and progressing through that to the point where like, yeah, the language changes. Like, yeah, I feel tighter. Like, oh, that was a little uneven, but I have my part down.
Yeah.
And you try to, we try to incorporate that a lot. But go ahead.
Something we don't really have is we don't really have like the demo version of the song that was that like had a moment in the sun for us where we would take that home and listen to it and you know that kind of defined the arrangement or something like that. And then there's also the recorded version, which may or may not be different, really materially different, because we don't really draw that line, and we don't really like develop that demo, really.
I sometimes get a bit scared of having a good demo.
So all
Yeah.
the demo,
That's when it gets
work
confusing, I feel like, you know?
with mistakes and like
They'll be like ripped from a live rehearsal or something.
yeah, and they might even be like decently recorded, but they won't be very fun to listen to unless you're maybe unless you're one of us four and you're trying to like assess the success of a particular kick drum pattern in the third verse.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
feel like it's nice to leave it in like this kind of uncertain place where things aren't decided yet. And sometimes I feel like when we do have a demo that sounds quite good, then you kind of like you get attached to things,
Totally.
and then you're not sure if it's because they're good or just because you've heard them lots of times.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the vibe of the new songs like collectively? Do you think it's I read that you were writing a lot of songs about like being far away from your loved ones or just distance in general as like a more open concept. Are the songs kind of upbeat or a little bit, contemplative?
I guess they're more contemplative. They're like the subject matter is a little bit depressing.
Cool.
The sonics aren't all depressing, but yeah, it was just like
Not that Future Me Hates Me wasn't depressing.
It's different.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to say. Like, I haven't really listened to it as a whole since we handed it in.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost hard to remember, but yeah.
Isn't
I
that
think
weird how that happens?
Yeah, it's because
It's embarrassing. I always don't like to admit that how little we listen to it once it's finished.
I feel like, you can't get high on your own supply. And at the end of the day, well, also, in a perfect world, we'd be touring so much. You play these songs every day. Like, you don't need to listen to the album.
Yeah, that's weird. Like we would have already been to the state. We were supposed to start touring in April and finish at the start of May. And like a week ago, I was like, oh, that tour would have been done now.
Wow.
So crazy. So
Yeah.
crazy.
But
Dang. Well, July 10.
July 10.
That
It's,
is the day.
That's the album.
Hell yeah, man.
Pre-order it on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Beths.com. Sean is hopefully. Are you flashing it?
Sean
Boom.
is flexing that
Screen
album
is
cover.
on it.
That's
The
an awesome
Beths.com.
album cover too. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
good.
who did the art again? Who's the artist? For Jump Rope Gazers.
So it's my friend Philippa, and she Philippa Emery, and she just like
Cool.
I've just always kind of followed her and on Instagram, and just like she just always makes like weird art, and I asked her if she would make that sounds bad. It's awesome, and I really liked it. So I was and
No, yeah, it makes you I don't know, it makes you pause.
she just always she works through lots of like just like lots of I like how she'll take an idea and she'll show you like her putting it through different mediums. So she'll start it on like color pencils, and then she'll like paint it, and then she'll put it on like software, like drawing online software where it's like weird 3D rendering, and then like things like that. And so when I asked her if she wanted to do it, and then I sent her the album, and she just kind of like it was like all really rough demos, like just like recordings of live and stuff, and she I guess kind of picked out some themes and was just like, I'm working on this idea, and she showed me like a crayon drawing of that, and then she was like, I think I want to make it like a sculpture.
Oh, yes.
And it turned out the first draft she showed us turned out it looked quite creepy. I was like, oh my god.
Huh?
Doesn't feel quite right. And but then like just like having some sunlight on it or something, some sunshine, just like it just was really great. And I just really like how I could like we could take like our art that we made and be like make an art out of it, and
Totally.
like she kind of turned it into this other thing where I looked at it and I was just like, this looks right. Like this, I think you get it. Like,
Totally. I love the orange and the red against the
Yes.
grass, the green grass. It looks so cool.
Yeah, it's very warm. It's got like a little ounce of creepiness too, though.
Yeah, it's a little
Which
strange.
I love that it's retained. Yeah.
That
I
rules.
think that's part of what Philippa does as well. She's really like, she's also a nurse, or is she training to be a nurse? Or is
Yeah,
she's
she's training to be a nurse.
training to be a nurse, and a lot of her art just sort of does reflect the nitty gritty of how the body works in quite a cool and fearless way.
That's really sick. That's like
She's great.
some cool context.
Anatomica radical.
Yeah, dude. That's so sick. Damn. Well, does she have an Instagram or anything that we could?
She showed us Philippa Emery. Yeah.
Philippa Emery.
Philippa Emery, everybody. Check that out. And everybody in the chat, please pre-order Jump Rope Gazers on thebeths.com. It's a good-looking website. There's some cool merch up there as well.
This is a little game.
A
This is
cricket
little
design.
game.
John, thebeths.com looks really good. I was looking at it earlier. It's a good old site.
There's a Beths 2048 game if you click on the Tui bird.
No
Like a
way.
flash game.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, go do that.
Yeah.
There's also
Oh.
a T-shirt with a cricketer on there, and I wanted to ask you before we part,
Yeah,
John.
I have 2 more moments of gushing too.
Oh, okay. Do you want to do that first?
Sure, before cricket.
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to gush. Sorry. Let me gush. Y'all, you mentioned that you work things out and like practice like playing all together, and it sounds that way. Like y'all have worked out the parts like so well to where you're comfortable, and like the level at which everybody stands out in the arrangement is like very coordinated and well timed, and it's awesome. So, fucking love y'all for that. And also, I think I have a hunch that you are fans of juxtaposing like very dark, reflective lyrics on top of very happy, jangly beats. Music, I guess.
Love it.
That's the formula.
And
It's the move.
that's something we share in common very much.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want things to be too obvious, you know. I mean, sometimes it's nice to have a really sad song, but I mean, sometimes it's nice to fucking slip
yeah.
some secret darkness in there too.
Well, you know what? It's just like that's the reality, isn't it? It's like
Exactly.
you often feel sad, but you're like, I gotta go to work.
Right. Put on a happy face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the move. Fuck yeah. I concur with those assessments, Dave.
We have breaking
Oh.
news in the chat.
Oh.
Ben has been promoted to screen status.
Oh shit.
Did you make him
What?
a mod?
Is Ben a
right
mod?
now?
Me and Ben
Or modding.
are the screen beans.
Oh my god.
All right, ban everybody right now.
All right.
Everyone's out of this stream
What is
except
a
for me
screen?
and Ben.
Ben says, "What is a screen?"
I tried to explain to him, but there was too many emojis going on. In the very first episode, like 2 minutes into the first episode, I just mistyped my name, Sean, and I put a couple extra letters in.
You put a CR in there.
Yeah.
I didn't
But-
know the origins of Screon.
Scroll.
That's in the
I'm
Chrome
glad.
world.
It's either
Scrawn.
screen, scrawn, or scrawn.
It's like a Power Rangers.
But
villain.
now it's not just
But
one
now
of
it's
us. It's
you
two
and
of
Ben.
us.
Screen beans.
It's me and Ben, the screen beans.
Beyond and beyond.
That's right.
I gotta say, Sean's really good at developing side plots in the chat. Like, I have no idea what's going on in the chat
Yeah,
right now.
Dave and I cannot see the chat. We are across the room. But
Same. I'm very looking forward to going
yes.
back. It was
Yes.
getting good.
Oh, and so all these episodes are recorded, and I realized Twitch records like
The chat, too.
chat
It's cool.
scrolling by. So if you watch this video, like you'll see the real time chat.
You'll see the drama unfolding.
I love that.
It's good
Can
shit.
you watch past streams on Twitch?
Yeah, you can watch them back. I think they archive only for 2 weeks though, which
Unless
sucks.
you're
Like
a certified
top
smoker.
level Twitcher. But we put them on YouTube where they live forever, but you can't see the chat there, unfortunately. So, boo-hoo. If you're on YouTube in the future, in the even more future, hello. I love saying hi to the people watching on YouTube years
Hello
from now.
From the future.
Hello, 2520. If you are on YouTube.
This video was uploaded 452 years ago.
Yes, exactly. It's good shit. So, okay, you guys, I really wanted to talk about this, and I realized that people in the chat might not care at all about this, but I want to talk about this. Sean and I have been getting into a lot of new sports while we've been home, mainly watching them on YouTube. Like, I just want to shout out a couple. We watched some Irish hurling. That was really fun. And we've been getting really into AFL. Australian rules football.
Oh yeah.
Which I know you guys probably hate. I know it's probably like some sort of rivalry. We've been talking with Nathan Wood about the Sydney Swans. These guys are fucking jacked, and they just throw each other around out there.
No pads, nothing.
Get them on the field. I don't.
It's freaky.
Yeah, one of the greatest little-known rules of Australian rules football is there's no maximum team size. It's just as many strong young men as are in your village to play the sport.
That's awesome. Yeah, it seemed very fluid. It didn't seem like there were many positions or like assigned duties.
I love. Is it a requirement to wear the tightest T-shirt you own?
Yeah, no sleeves.
I did notice that.
You gotta show off those muscles. But we are itching for more.
Yeah, we want to know about cricket.
We want you to give us some advice of how to get into watching cricket on YouTube. If you have a team you're into or a player.
One of my favorite things is to
on the stream right now.
One of my favorite
things
things is to, when you all are on tour, like almost every show beforehand on Instagram, you post a video of you playing cricket, and it looks like so much fun. It looks like a great tour thing to do.
Yeah,
Nice,
I'm jealous.
Nice. I guess it feels like it's because it's similar to baseball, right? But I guess maybe it's harder to play baseball on the road because like there's an element of like because the ball bounces in cricket, there's less air.
Yeah.
I feel like you could play cricket in the parking lot. I don't think you could play baseball in the parking lot.
Yeah, people might get upset.
Yeah.
Yep.
We tossed a baseball around once in a Tim Hortons parking lot in like Buffalo, and an employee came out and told us to stop. So
Yeah, it was pretty humiliating as like a 24-year-old to be
lit-
yelled at for playing catch in a parking lot.
I literally walked in like during the time Sean was tossing the ball, and ordered a coffee from this Tim Hortons and saw all the employees gathered around like the back door window, like, and I heard them. They better not fucking throw that in my car.
yeah,
Oh,
whatever. But
We're being bad.
we need the cricket scoop,
Yeah,
please.
so what, Jonathan, cricket 101 in 30 seconds.
At least a team. We need to support a team.
yeah. Well,
Well, the teams to support, they're called the Black Caps.
Caps?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
that's the New Zealand cricket team. We call them the Black Caps. It's because every sports team in New Zealand is franchised and heavily branded in one of a few themes, like black, white, or silver ferns. So all our teams are the black somethings, or the white somethings, or the silver ferns, or the something ferns. Or, anyway, so they're the Black Caps because they got caps that are black. They're a pretty good team. They win sometimes and also lose quite a lot.
It sounds like our white socks,
Yeah.
but it's hat.
but it's a black
But
cap.
cricket on YouTube is tricky because cricket's such a long game. Like
Okay.
even the shortest, cricket's kind of like 3 games in one, and the shortest version takes about 4 hours. The longest version takes 5 days.
What's the
So-
longest game
Whoa.
that you've ever like committed to watching all of it?
I, as a tragic, have watched full 5-day matches.
Whoa!
That's so sick.
Like what? Like do you
You press
take
pause.
breaks from watching, or do you
Yeah.
just go straight through 4 to 5 hour or 4 to 5 days of sitting there, like eating and then watching the game?
Yeah. I mean, it's mostly eating and watching, but
Wow, that's awesome.
there's like but that's like such a luxury that you can get to watch
Yeah.
5 days of cricket. Like, that's crazy.
About
Usually,
if you-
cricket's like real nice in that a 5-day cricket match just kind of becomes this companion to your everyday life, and you just check in every now and again and be like, oh, I wonder if Kane Williamson's got 100 runs yet, and so you check in and you look and you're like, oh, no, he's still only got 65. Oh, maybe I'll check in another 20 minutes or something.
Wait,
and then
does the score for these games get into hundreds of runs?
Yeah. So a good score in a 1-day game would be like 300 to 330 runs, and a good score in the 5-day game might be like 500 runs. And then you also bat twice in the 5-day game, so you might get 500 and then 200 more the second time you bat. It's always harder to bat the second time round.
There's also an element of sometimes the thing about the 5-day game is that quite often 5 days is not enough, and so the game ends in a draw.
Oh my God.
Because in order
That's
to get
amazing.
a result, you have to get everyone on the other team. You have to get them out, which is 11 people. You have to get them out twice. So,
And they can stay in for as long as they don't get out, they are still in.
and there's no strikes or anything like that. There's no pressure on them to hit a big shot. They
So,
can just
like,
block it.
How
and
many hits would someone get in like a 5-day game?
In a good innings in a 5-day game, a real player of the match innings where you maybe score like 200 runs just by yourself
Wow.
in a 5-day game.
That's a
But
real
wait, I
triple
think
double.
That's
Really
how does one
50
score a run? Because I think we have a different context for what that means in baseball.
Yeah,
But-
so runs just you run from where the bowler, our pitcher, where they
Like
do
a
their
straight
pitch. You just
line,
run
right?
from where you hit to where they pitch,
Yeah.
and it's almost
Two
the same
people
distance.
playing at once. So there's always 2 people batting at once.
But you don't get 2 runs.
You don't get
so
2
that's-
runs. So
that's
like
precisely-
if they both swap sides and are both safe, that's a run.
yeah.
Wow.
And then you might have a different person. If you just get 1 run, then a different person will be facing the bowler.
And like baseball, there's lots of different ways to get out, but also there's no pressure in cricket there's little pressure other than strategical pressure to hit a big shot and a risky shot. So mostly you'll just hit the ball on the ground to an area where there is no one there and run the equivalent of running to first base, and then you get 1 run. And it's quite safely and
So
easily
it's
done.
like it's a slow build up of points.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to watch it on YouTube because to get the sense of the game, it like takes so long. It doesn't kind of condense work down that well. But you can jump in the deep end and dive in the deep end if you want, and get into this channel called Rob Ellender 2. And if there's any
Yes.
cricketers watching the stream who hear me say that right now, it's like that's a hallowed name on cricket YouTube.
All right,
Rob
I'm
Ellender.
writing this down.
Nice.
Ellender is Elinda. Rob Ellender 2, that is a channel of gems where this guy, Rob, who's a mad cricket fan and has VHS recordings of old matches going back into the 80s.
Ben has stepped in and said, "This is getting out of control."
I'm so
Rob
That's
Ellender.
Ben.
And maybe you want to see some like compilation video of classic Yorkers, which is a cricket thing.
Yeah, man.
Check it
Yes,
out.
Ben just shared a game in
Is
the
that
chat.
like bloopers?
Okay.
Yorkers?
Yorkers are it's when you bowl. So the ball has to bounce. Well, it doesn't have to, but normally it bounces once on the way to the batsman.
Mhm.
And a Yorker is like when it bounces just in front of their feet, which makes it. If you can imagine trying to hit a ball that bounces just in front of your feet, it's like
But people do hit it sometimes, and it's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck
it's
yeah.
So like a baseball changeup, would you say that, Sean?
No,
I'm
Dave.
like not very well versed on sports, like in the
changeup's
sport
like a slower delivery. Is it?
Yeah, I don't think anyone in baseball has ever hit a ball that bounced before it got to them. I would
Well, sure.
maybe. I don't. Maybe that's happened, but that's extremely rare.
Like the drop ball.
Cause yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
This game is.
We're gonna
called
find out, guys. We're
drop
gonna get on
ball.
YouTube and we're gonna do some deep dives.
If you've got any further questions, send me a message.
I really appreciate that, cause
The
someday,
Beths.com.
even farther in the future, yeah, send.
Admin at thebeths.com.
Please tell us more. Yeah, eventually I really want to get out there into the great outdoors and hold a cricket bat for the first time because I never have. And I'm eager. Because we like sports and we're really into different, I don't know, sports from around the globe. It's really fun.
That's a thick one.
That's so sick. Dude,
Wow.
that's a regular old bat, Dave. That's how it is.
GM.
Oh.
That's like
Yeah, there you go.
not
great.
GN. That's like the missing
Merch
greeting. Missing greeting from our saga. Because we had GN, that's good night, and we had GL, that's good luck. But
We have GM, a song, Good Morning.
do we have GM the song? Oh yeah, you're right.
Dave, come on.
Oh, shit.
We got him.
We need GA, the good afternoon.
Whatever. We got it on lock. That's a beautiful bat.
And GD, good day.
All right, you guys, I know this is running long for anyone in the chat, but I really want to ask one more thing because we cannot leave without talking about this, Liz. Last night, as some people in the chat might know, I ranked the Harry Potter books according to my subjective opinion. And Liz, I know that you're a Harry Potter fan. I was looking at an old interview you guys gave today, and you mentioned being a fan of the Remus Lupins, one of the wizard rock bands of the 2000s.
Yeah.
And
Wizard Rock.
yeah, wizard rock. And so
I
I
need
was
to
just
look this
curious
up.
if you have a favorite Harry Potter book that you'd like to share with us, or a top 3, whatever you choose. I leave it up to you.
I'm not sure. I mean, I definitely like. I guess it is all subjective. Maybe my favorite time of life, particularly, was like just the gap between between Half-Blood Prince and Deathly Hallows, just because like, I don't know. It's just such a formative part of my life where like I was like listening to podcasts and like about Harry Potter and like buying books that were like theories.
Dude,
about
Liz, did you buy the MuggleNet book that was Who Will Die in Harry Potter 7?
Yeah. Do I have
Dude,
it?
that book is awesome. It had literal odds on each character. I have it too. It's upstairs. Dude, this shit was so deep. It had odds on every character.
Like
just,
Vegas odds?
Yeah. Ugh.
And I don't know, for that reason, it's like one of my favorites just because I connect it with just like rereading it and trying to find clues. And like, I freaking like, I opened a savings account. That's why I have a savings account because I wanted to go to like LeakyCon or to like Lumos, which was like the the convention. I didn't end up going. I ended up buying a Flugelhorn with that money. But
Nice.
of course, but
Dope sounding Flugelhorn.
Yeah, the Flugelhorn sounds good. I don't know if it's the same one, but the Animal Crossing Flugelhorn was choice.
that was just trumpet with a mute. The Flugel, I can't get it muted too loud in our flat, but
Fair enough.
and just like the first band that I was in with my friends, like I wrote my first song for that band, and it was like it's called Lily's Eyes, and it's like a wizard rock song that was like about my theories about what was going to happen in book 7. So I think for that reason I like Half-Blood Prince, even though like maybe nothing really important happens. I feel like that means it's more of a setup almost, but
It is.
I still really like that, and like the introduction of Horcruxes and like what all the implications. I don't know.
Totally. Yeah, I never even thought about that. Like in the moment, I was anticipating the 7th book so strongly as well. Looking back now, number 6 is totally a setup. And I didn't even I didn't perceive that in the moment. We should have all known how good the 7th book was going to be based on the fact that 6 was such a transitional book. I don't know.
Yeah, it just introduced so much stuff, so much backstory and so much. I don't know. I'm into it. I don't really like action.
Totally.
I like setup.
That's why I like 5. It's so much like just emotion and like inner turmoil, although there is a lot of action at the end of that one. But I also want to point out that in that book, Who Will Die in Harry Potter 7, Dobby, I think, was the first entry, and it was like 200 to 1 or something like that. Or maybe... And Dobby dies. Not to spoil it.
Oh my god! I forgot that Dobby died.
Dude, that is a... Oh, Liz, it would all come back to you. That chapter, Here Lies Dobby, a Free Elf. It's so...
Yeah, that makes
Dude,
sense.
it is incredibly gut-wrenchingly sad. And like,
Yeah.
I just remember when that happened in the book, it was like 2/3 of the way through the book maybe, And I remembered back to those odds. I was like, oh my God, no one is safe. And like when Hedwig died, I was just like, oh my God, they're killing off. Like everyone's dying. It's truly a war. It's so
Yeah.
crazy.
But I mean, the most brutal one is Fred, right?
Oh God. Yeah.
Can you imagine anything worse?
I've read a lot of stuff on the Harry Potter subreddit. I go on there like from time to time now, and people are always, there's a lot of kind of sentimental content about Fred and George, and like George getting older and looking in the mirror and like seeing his twin and all this shit. I'm just like, holy shit, man, this is very sad. But
Super cool.
at least one of them made it out. But anyways, man, good shit. I hope someday I really want to go to the theme park. Although I would want to go alone, but I know that's not possible.
Yeah.
maybe in
but
maybe
you could
in
sneak in the next month or
yeah,
two.
maybe I could climb the fence during the quarantine. No, I'm staying here in Chicago. But anyways, good shit. Man, I really appreciate you guys coming on our fun Chrome show. It's been so nice to catch up with you guys.
This has been a very nice afternoon. And,
Yeah, thanks.
It's a nice break from all the metallic dust in the air.
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
2045 is rough.
Sure. What? 2045?
Yeah, 2045. It's sooner than you think.
Okay, whatever you say.
I don't know
babe.
how you're not wearing sunglasses. I mean, it's the glare. I
Yeah.
often find to be unbearable.
Yes, indeed. Truly nuts. Yeah,
It's cloudy.
cloudy.
Let's go.
It's cloudy.
Oh, it's
here
cloudy.
in
We don't need the
Chrome, Rome.
sunglasses. Right, exactly. Yes.
It's pretty cloudy in Rome generally. Yeah. Do y'all, just before we leave, I guess, do y'all live like in the city center, like a do y'all have a downtown, or you mentioned Auckland's like super spread out?
It's a bit spread out, a bit sprawly. We live in like a central suburb,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
is we can get on the bus and be in the city in like 10 to 15 minutes.
Love that. That's
Yeah.
that's kind of how we are too. We're like kind of on the edge of
We're
the
on
city.
the edge. Yeah.
But next time you guys are in Chicago, we have like a small backyard. It's small, but
Yes.
we could simulate a cricket match. We could do all sorts of things. We could make noise in the basement. I don't know, and we could just hang out with Evan and Claire, all our pals. So I look forward to the day where we can all be in person again and have some good times and hang out.
Yeah.
Me too.
It'll be nice.
I was
But in
gonna-
the meantime, Liz, I'm probably gonna bug you, and I want to come see your island.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Sweet.
We don't have any cricket equipment, but we have croquet equipment.
Not the same.
Cool.
We'll
It's
need
not
to
the
borrow
same
your
at all,
stuff, John.
The syllables are different, but it's okay. We travel with a tour
is a
that Ben actually in the chat, Bjorn, made
Bjorn.
little tour bat that
Sick.
he made out of
Yes.
New Zealand wood, and he made it specifically a little bit small so it can fit in our suitcases.
Seriously?
Good for
Damn.
Bjorn.
Like hand carved.
Yeah,
It's hand carved. Yeah.
Ben's super into woodworking, so
Ah,
ask Ben woodworking questions.
damn.
Good time.
Low key.
Thank you, Ben. Bless you.
Bean
Bjorn.
Ben bet.
Damn.
Love that. Good shit. Cool.
Okay, sorry, we keep putting off the goodbye.
Oh no, it's the way it
Screon
goes.
and beyond.
Scrown and beyond. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I think after this, we're just gonna make a pizza. It's gonna be
Okay.
great. Love it.
This sounds
Oh gosh.
great.
It's almost. Is it after 9? I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, it is. It's well after 9. Well, anyways, I hope you
Thanks.
guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for
thanks
coming on and
the show and
hanging with us. It's nice.
Nice to
Thanks,
see you all.
guys.
We wish we could see you soon.
Yeah,
Yes, dude.
it'll come. It'll come.
You, if you watch the video back, catch the chat.
Yeah.
Much
Sweet.
Oh,
love.
yeah.
See
I'm gonna read the
ya.
See you guys.
Bye.
Take it easy. Talk to you soon. Bye. Are we back in
We're
Chrome?
back in. We're in Chrome.
What year is it again?
Wow.
2021.
2050.
Oh yes.
Mm. What a journey it's been.
Yes, President Trump the Fourth.
That was so much fun. Everyone, please go to thebeths.com and pre-order their new record, Jump Rope Gazers. It's probably going to be the best record that comes out this year. Record of the summer. I'm really excited for that to be out and have some new Beths music in our lives. So, fuck yeah. Sweet. I just want to plug a couple things before we leave. Tomorrow we're going to do our little matinee show like we usually do. It'll be the
Matinee.
Dave, you're making so much noise. You're just like flinging everything around. It's okay. Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Tomorrow, sorry, I'm not trying to call you out. You're doing great.
Sunday matinee.
Sunday matinee for you tomorrow. Mother's Day matinee. It's going to be really fun.
I might be late. We'll
Dave,
see.
I really hope we'll be on time for the show.
I am breaking the rules. Tomorrow I am going to visit my mother. I haven't seen my immediate family in over a month, so
Well, longer than that.
yeah.
But
So
yeah, you
It'll be
maintain that distance and it should be fine.
hot food will keep me healthy.
We'll see about that. Hopefully. It'll be good.
Gosh, y'all can hear my stomach grumbling.
Yeah, but anyways, tomorrow I'm going to play some covers and we're going to do a Weed Sprout update and lots of good stuff. So tune in if you can and it'll be fun to hang out again. And we're going to share some news tomorrow as well about some plans we have for other shows and things. We're going to keep this going. We're going to take a break after tomorrow, take a week off, but then we're going to use that week to kind of think up some new stuff we can do because we got some ideas. But anyways, hope you guys are doing all right and we love you and we will see you tomorrow. Can't wait. Have a good night / a good day if you're in New Zealand.